Imagine sitting in traffic on a Wednesday morning, same route, same coffee, except this time, you're not going to work. You're driving home after handing in your laptop because your job was eliminated, effective immediately. The badge that once opened doors is just plastic in your cup holder, and for the first time in years, your calendar is empty. From the outside, life looks normal. The mall's still open, your kids still need lunch money, the rent is still due, but inside your house, everything has shifted. Groceries quietly downgrade to whatever's on sale. The emergency credit card starts carrying a balance. You check your banking app more than you sleep, and every notification makes your heart jump. Now zoom out and multiply that feeling by more than 1 million. That's 2025 America. Companies have announced over 1.1 million layoffs, the highest since the first COVID shock, with total planned cuts around 1.17 million as they slash deeper into 2026. Tech, logistics, retail, telecom, manufacturing, no sector is safe. The very corporations that called you family are sending people home with cardboard boxes. Yet the headlines still brag about a resilient labor market and a soft landing. If everything's fine, why are so many towns losing their biggest employer and watching small businesses, tax revenue, and school budgets slowly crumble? In this video, we're breaking down the top 8 US layoff giants crippling workers in 2025. Amazon, Google, Tesla, UPS, Disney, and more. We'll show you how many people they've cut, the excuses they're using, and what it really means for anyone who thought their paycheck was safe. Stay till the end, because number 1 isn't just a company name. It's a warning about where the entire US economy is heading. Before you relax and think, that could never be me, ask yourself, if this can happen to them, what exactly is protecting you? Let's get into the countdown. Number 8, UPS. For decades, UPS was a symbol of reliability. Brown trucks, brown uniforms, brown packages. If anything moved in the American economy, UPS was part of the motion. But in 2025, that image cracked. The company moved to cut around 48,000 jobs in a single year, including drivers, sorters, and managers, as part of a broader US layoff wave that has crossed 1.1 million announced cuts. The official explanation is familiar: restructuring, efficiency, automation, and a response to weaker parcel volumes as higher interest rates and lingering inflation pushed consumers to spend less. At the same time, big customers like Amazon have shifted deliveries in-house and demanded lower prices, squeezing UPS from both ends. The company's answer has been ruthless math. Shutter over 70-90 facilities, consolidate routes, and strip roughly 10% of its workforce, while promising investors billions in cost savings. Inside warehouses, belts that once needed teams of handlers are now ringed with cameras and AI systems that track every scan and pause, flagging underperformance in real time. In the field, new route optimization software packs more stops into fewer drivers' days, even as buyout programs push veteran drivers out of the system. On Wall Street, this is called unlocking productivity. To the people who worked 12-hour days delivering medicine and groceries during the pandemic, it feels like being discarded the moment the crisis is over. And when a giant like UPS pulls jobs, the damage doesn't stop at its payroll. A regional hub closing can mean hundreds of middle-class salaries gone overnight in a single town. The 24-hour diner that served night shifts sees sales plunge. The local garage that serviced fleet trucks loses a core client. Property tax receipts fall, and school and city budgets quietly tighten. Economists call these second-order effects. Families call it, "We can't pay the mortgage this year." And if this is happening in logistics, what does it look like in the places Americans go to forget their problems for a while? Number 7. Disney. Disney didn't just sell movies and theme parks. It sold childhood castle fireworks, Marvel heroes, and Pixar stories that made entire theaters cry. Yet behind the magic, 2024 and 2025 have been brutal for Disney employees. Across studios, TV networks, streaming, and theme parks, the company has cut tens of thousands of roles worldwide as it races to repair profits after the streaming boom fizzled and cable revenue fell. Disney poured billions into content to win the streaming wars, but by 2024, subscriber growth had stalled while production costs stayed high. At the same time, traditional TV ad money shrank faster than expected, and park visitors began pushing back against record ticket prices, dynamic pricing, and endless add-on fees. To calm investors and manage debt, leadership turned to the standard corporate playbook: large-scale layoffs, outsourcing, and aggressive synergy targets. The impact doesn't stop at the park gates. In Central Florida, small vendors and service businesses around Orlando report double-digit revenue drops as Disney trims seasonal hiring and reduces certain events. In California, freelance crews and soundstage workers in the greater Los Angeles area face longer gaps between projects as studios merge teams and cancel shows. When a company that employs over 200,000 people globally pulls back, entire local economies feel the drag. Number 6. Walmart. Walmart has more than 1.6 million US employees and touches almost every working-class town in America. When it starts cutting, it's not just a corporate adjustment, it's a shock to the entire local ecosystem. In 2025, Walmart announced waves of layoffs and relocations across its corporate offices, tech hubs, and e-commerce warehouses, affecting thousands of roles as it shut or consolidated fulfillment centers and trimmed back in store management positions. A big part of the story is automation. The same company that once hired anybody willing to stock shelves and run cash registers is now investing heavily in self-checkout kiosks, backroom robots, and AI-driven inventory systems. Stores across the country have reduced the number of traditional cashiers, replacing them with machines, while regional e-commerce centers are redesigned to need fewer people per package shipped. At headquarters, entire teams in merchandising, HR, and online operations have been merged or cut as Walmart pours billions into technology and data analytics. On paper, this looks like progress: higher margins, faster logistics, sleeker digital tools. On the ground, it's a different picture. A longtime department manager finds out their role is restructured into a lower-paying team lead job. A backroom associate watches a new automated sorting system do work that used to require 3 people per shift. A call center worker supporting Walmart's online orders is told their unit will be outsourced overseas. For many small towns where Walmart is the largest or only big employer, even a few dozen job cuts translate into fewer customers at local diners, barbers, and repair shops. And if the country's biggest private employer is quietly thinning its ranks, what does that signal about everyone else? Number 5. Verizon. Telecom was supposed to be safe. Everyone needs a phone, everyone needs internet. But in 2025, Verizon and other major carriers showed that not even essential infrastructure is immune to the layoff wave. Over the past year, Verizon has cut thousands of jobs across customer service, network operations, and corporate departments as it tries to reduce costs in a saturated market and shift money into 5G, AI, and enterprise services. The pressure is straightforward. Subscriber growth has slowed, competition is intense, and building and maintaining 5G networks is expensive. At the same time, new AI tools can handle everything from basic tech support chats to back-end monitoring of network performance. Instead of hiring more call center reps and field techs, carriers are quietly investing in automation that can handle many tasks at scale. In 2025, research showed layoffs across telecom and technology, helping drive total US layoff announcements to the highest level since 2020. Behind those numbers are people who thought they'd found a long-term niche. A customer service representative with 10 years of experience discovers that AI chatbots are now answering most of the questions they used to handle. A network engineer is told that monitoring and diagnostics are being centralized and augmented by machine learning tools, so fewer humans are needed on local teams. Entire regional offices are consolidated into hub cities, forcing workers to move or quit. The fallout is subtle but serious. When a carrier closes a local support center or shrinks a regional engineering team, the job losses don't make as much noise as a factory closure, but they still drain middle-class salaries from the area. Those were the jobs that paid for kids' braces, home renovations, and college savings. Number 4. Boeing. Boeing isn't just a company. For a century, it has been a symbol. Factory whistles in Washington state, union jobs in South Carolina, engineers in California, drawing the wings that carried US power across the world. But in 2025, that symbol is bleeding people. Boeing has announced plans to cut about 10% of its global workforce, roughly 17,000 jobs, as it tries to dig itself out of financial losses, safety crises, and delayed aircraft programs. The official line is that this is major restructuring to restore competitiveness. In practice, it means thousands of machinists, inspectors, engineers, and support staff in states like Washington, South Carolina, California, and Alabama getting told their role is gone after years, sometimes decades of service. Many received notice at the end of 2024 and walked out the door in early 2025 after 60-day warning periods expired. For workers and their families, this isn't just a career setback, it's the collapse of a life script. These were the good jobs, the ones parents told their kids to chase. You could buy a house on this work. You could put a child through college on this work. Now those same workers are updating resumes at midnight, competing with each other for fewer roles in an industry that's slowing new projects and pushing launches like the 777X further down the road. Then there's the ripple effect. When a Boeing plant trims a shift or idles a line, it isn't only Boeing employees who suffer. Local suppliers, from metal fabricators to catering companies, see contracts shrink. Rent in factory towns like Everett or North Charleston doesn't suddenly get cheaper just because overtime disappeared. Small businesses built around lunch breaks, paydays, and union meetings feel the air go out of the room. Number 3. Tesla. For years, Tesla was marketed as the future: clean cars, cutting-edge tech, a ticket out of the fossil fuel era. Young engineers left stable jobs to join it, mechanics retrained. Whole regions bet their economies on its factories. Then 2024 and 2025 hit, and the future started laying people off. In a global memo, Elon Musk confirmed that Tesla would cut more than 10% of its worldwide workforce to save costs as sales slowed and competition intensified. That translated to around 14,000 to 20,000 jobs, with internal data later suggesting Tesla had already shrunk headcount by at least 14%. From about 140,000 people down to roughly 121,000. The reasons are familiar. Deliveries fell for the first time in years. Chinese EV makers are undercutting prices, and rising rates make big-ticket purchases harder. Tesla's answer was to go lean fast. Entire teams were wiped out, including the high-profile Supercharger group, with hundreds of staff suddenly told their work, once considered Tesla's crown jewel, was no longer needed. Many other workers described the same pattern: late-night emails, short calls, and then locked accounts. Meanwhile, Tesla is doubling down on automation and AI. Robotaxis, factory robots, autonomous software. Each big step forward in that direction is also a hint that fewer humans may be needed on the production lines, in service centers, or even behind the wheel. Investors here, more efficient, more scalable. Workers here, you might be next. Number 2. Google. If there was one place white-collar workers thought they'd be safe, it was Google. Free lunches, nap pods, elite salaries. The cliché was that once you got into Alphabet, you'd made it. But since 2023, and continuing into 2024 and 2025, Google has carried out multiple waves of layoffs, cutting tens of thousands of roles worldwide across engineering, ads, hardware, recruiting, and support. In some cases, teams that survived one round woke up months later to find they were on the list for the next. The company's explanation is that it overhired during the pandemic boom and now needs to realign resources for AI, cloud, and core search. Advertising growth has slowed, competition is intense, and management wants to protect margins. So Google has been trimming everything from long-running experimental projects to recruiting departments, while leaning on automation and AI tools to replace parts of work in coding, customer support, and internal operations. For employees, the way it's done has been especially brutal. Stories repeat the same pattern: people trying to badge into the office only to find their access cut, laptops remotely wiped overnight, a generic email informing them their role has been impacted. Some had been there 10, 15, even 20 years. Managers, designers, AI researchers, suddenly on the same job boards as new grads. Even high performers with strong reviews were swept up, because the cuts weren't just about performance, they were about numbers. This matters far beyond Silicon Valley. Google's presence props up entire local economies in places like the Bay Area, Seattle, New York, and Austin. When thousands of high-earning workers are suddenly out of a job, you feel it in rent demand, restaurant sales, Uber rides, and tax revenue. And many of these workers have mortgages, kids, and elder care responsibilities just like any factory worker. They aren't all rich tech bros. They're middle-class households that structured their lives around the idea that a Google offer meant stability. Finally, at number 1, Amazon, one of the biggest private employers on Earth, with over 1.5 million workers at its peak. Since 2022 and through 2024-2025, it has flipped from non-stop hiring to one of the largest layoff campaigns in corporate history, cutting tens of thousands of jobs across warehouses, corporate offices, AWS cloud, Alexa, gaming, and more. In tech alone, Amazon is among the top contributors to 100,000 plus US tech layoffs in 2024-2025. The reasons: e-commerce growth cooled after the pandemic, costs for labor and delivery climbed, and AWS faced slower spending and tougher competition. To protect margins, Amazon shut or consolidated facilities, cancelled projects, and leaned harder on warehouse automation and AI forecasting. For workers, it feels brutal. A software engineer in Seattle sees their whole team dissolved in one meeting. A picker in a small-town fulfillment center is told the building will close or repurpose, with only vague talk of transfers. Algorithms track every scan and step, demanding more from fewer people after each round of cuts. Because Amazon touches so many places, every closure or downsizing hits an entire local economy. Hundreds of lost paychecks mean emptier rentals, quieter shops, and more people chasing fewer jobs. Amazon at number 1 isn't just one company's story, it's the template for a new model. Grow fast, hire huge, then shed tens of thousands of workers in the name of efficiency while machines quietly take their place. From drivers and cashiers to engineers and coders, millions of people did everything right and still got turned into cost savings on a slide deck. This layoff wave isn't just numbers, it's rent stress, emptied savings, and the fear that no job is really safe in an AI-driven, shareholder-first economy. Have layoffs hit your company or town yet? Do you feel secure, or just lucky for now? Tell your story in the comments. If this helped you see what's really happening, like, share, and subscribe to Wisp with the bell on, so you don't miss the next deep dive